and I keep seeing this video. This girl only has like 3 videos. But this one's called "The Problem with Women in Games," and it's like blowing up right now. So I thought we would check it out, and then we're gonna check out some Borderlands gameplay, and that's what we're gonna do right now.
Starting to spiral here. And every other kind of media shows.
Let's start this over.
I think I'm starting to spiral here. In every other kind of media, shows, books, movies, we expect characters to be these complex. I think I'm starting to spiral here. In every other kind of media, shows, books, movies,
All right,
we
how did
expect
this
characters
chick
to be
get 94,000 subscribers overnight?
these complex, emotionally layered, and oftentimes attractive people. CD Projekt Red gave us Geralt in a bathtub, and the entire internet said, absolute cinema. But when a female game character is hotter, suddenly it's like the studio committed some kind of war crime. And some.
That is really weird, because video games are about escaping from reality. So, like, generally, the characters are all, like, the main characters at least, are all, like, unbelievably attractive. Male or female. That's kind of, like, the point.
Somewhere between 2014 and now, these types of women just started disappearing more and more from our Western games. You know, women who had beauty and charm and mystery, lip gloss, and the ability to just ruin your life with a single dialogue option. So let's talk about the modern female protagonist. How did you feel when I said that? Yeah. That's what I thought. Typically, they're more emotionally walled off, they're vaguely angry, honestly, me too. They have tactical everything, tragic backstories, but a lot of times won't talk about it with you. Muted color palettes, and no cute hairstyles or makeup.
Oh, that one was rough. That's from Fable, I think. I don't think she ended up looking like that in the final edit, though.
Or joy, and they normally display more masculine traits. And I'm not saying that these characters can never work, but if they're not done extremely well, the issue isn't just that so many of them fall flat, it's that they don't resonate at all. They're not iconic, they're not aspirational, and they're just not the kind of character you want to think about after the credits roll. And just like the women that I obsess over in all my books and TV shows, the smart, complex, stunning characters, I just want to aspire to the character that I'm playing in a game. She should feel powerful and gorgeous and emotionally relatable in a way that makes sense. But most of.
Well, yeah, so this is like the whole representation thing. And it's like, people aren't going to play your game if they don't feel like they're represented in the game. But that's not the point of video games, like, at all. Like, the point of video games is to lose yourself in a fantasy world of, like, people and activities that you can't do in real life. I don't know if they all suck, dude. I've been seeing some Expedition 33 gameplay. That shit looks lit. The Oblivion remaster was incredible, but that's an old game. What else recently? Black Myth Wukong was recent. That was a great game. Did I say the title of that right? I think so. What else is around? There were some bad games too, though, like Avowed and what was it, Conquered, and we're gonna find out. Borderlands 4 might be good. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. But like I was saying, the point of video games isn't to feel represented in the video game. The point is to escape into a fantasy world that you can't do in real life. Like, if I'm like on a magical medieval quest, I'm not being represented in the game anyway. Like, that can't be the point. That doesn't make sense.
The leads that we're getting nowadays, they're not memorable. And let's be honest, they're not exactly breaking the internet, okay? At least in a good way. The characters that
Oh yeah, she brought up Conquered. That game was a disaster.
really stand out, that make a difference, they've got it all. They've got the looks and the charm and the presence and the personality, and they've got the things that make people care, or at least cosplay. Well, we did.
Yeah, it's like, it's the big AAA studios that are crashing and burning right now. All of the like indie studios and stuff, because now they all have the technology to put out like AAA quality games. Like they can compete with those games no problem now. But they don't feel all the pressure to like make the game terrible, you know?
Didn't want to over-sexualize her. Okay, that's fine. I'm on board with that. But somewhere along the way, that turned into she can't flirt, or cry, or be too gentle, or smile too much, or wear makeup. Yes, sorry, I'm gonna hit on that a little bit today. We went from don't objectify her to don't let her feel like a real person. And she can be strong, but not soft, beautiful, but only if it's on accident. Heaven forbid she has feelings and good hair at the same time. And I think about this every time that I get the opportunity to make a custom character in a game. She is always a baddie that has lore. Winged eyeliner, mysterious aura.
I don't know about that one, because like you should see some of my Dark Souls 1 characters. They are not baddies. They're like purple monster creatures with like effed up sunken eyeballs and crazy stuff going on. But I get what she's saying.
Every NPC in the game is in love with her, and honestly, they should be, okay? My tab in Baldur's Gate 3, an angel. She walks into a scene and the lighting just poof, gets better. Gale starts sweating, and Asterion is chomping at the bit. Shadowheart's having some conflict.
I did hear Baldur's Gate was pretty good. I never played it though. It's just not really my like style of game. But I'll try it out eventually.
And her inventory is even more iconic. She's got 3 cursed rings, an apple, and a morally questionable tiara that she just doesn't want to take off. And it just makes you wonder, because if certain games let you create characters with so much charm and magnetism, why can't games with dedicated female leads do the same thing? Well, what are some of the more recent female leads that we've been graced with? I think about Frey from Forspoken. She can fight dragons and bend the laws of physics and literally
I mean, she looks pretty.
parkour across dimensions. That's super cool. But for some reason, they gave her the most awkward dialogue and had her deliver every line like she was on hold with customer service.
Yo, dialogue in games these days, like playing the Oblivion remaster again, and just the unbelievably extensive and in-depthness of that dialogue, it just, new games don't even kind of compare. It's not even close. Like you walk past random people and they just are having like in-depth conversations about what's going on in the world. That doesn't happen at all in other games.
On mute. What about Kay Vess from Star Wars Outlaws? She's a scrappy space outlaw, in theory. In practice, she kind of just plays like she just respawned from a bug and isn't sure where she...
Yeah, that game was trash. That game was bad. Like, none of the fighting mechanics made any sense.
is or why she's there. Okay, well, what about female Ivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Actually, she was canonically the real one. But you probably wouldn't know that, because even Ubisoft was like, dang, that's crazy. Anyway, check out this guy's beard. Or Dragon Age the Veilguard. This game was like 10 years in the oven, and somehow it still came out soggy. It often felt cringy instead of charming, and there really wasn't much mystery, but there was.
That makes me nervous for the next Elder Scrolls game, because they've been cooking that thing for way too long. Like, they have to be overthinking stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous for that one.
Was a lot of lecturing, and instead of emotionally rich companions, we kind of just got chronically online Twitter bios and fantasy outfits. I think you get the point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We need female characters with range, with presence, with a little drama, if you will. The girls who made you feel something were not perfect. They were messy and charismatic and complicated in the best way. Sadie Adler from Red Dead 2, her husband literally dies, and she goes, cool, I'm going feral now. And grieving? Yes. Stunning? Yes. Horse girl? Absolutely. But I would let her run me over with that horse. Chloe Fraser from Uncharted. She's flirty and morally flexible and somehow still makes betrayal feel hot. Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy. She could literally take down a behemoth in one hit.
All right, so we're like half and half. Like half of the games are kind of like just like slacking hard with the female characters, and half of them are doing pretty good. Is that basically where we're getting?
And then quietly make you some soup and ask if you've been sleeping okay. Max from Life is Strange, a super sweet, anxious girl who accidentally rewrote the entire space-time continuum just because she had too many feelings. And honestly, we love a relatable queen. Or Nabooru from the Legend of Zelda series. She leads armies and fights evil, and somehow she still looks like she's posing for a Vogue cover the entire time. Probably my first girl crush. This should not be controversial, but I'll say it. We need to bring back a great male leads, okay? And not because women can't carry a story, but because we've just like chucked balance off a cliff. It seems like the knee-jerk reaction to underrepresentation accusations became all female everything forever, no notes. And now, after we've gotten so many forgettable female leads, not you, Ellie and Aloy, my queens. But with all the others, we've hit this weird place where the audience is already exhausted before the trailer even ends. And unfortunately, caught in the crossfires of this has been Naughty Dog's new IP, Intergalactic, and Ghost of Yote. But when I think about just well-written women in games, what's interesting is some of gaming's best women were not even the protagonist, but they were the scene stealers. Ciri from The Witcher 3 is quite literally the entire reason that Geralt is risking his life across these war-torn
The Witcher 3. I keep trying to play that. I like the story and like the world, and like I like The Witcher, but the combat mechanics in that game are just bad. Like, I don't know how else to say it. They're just bad. Like, I probably just play way too much like Dark Souls and stuff like that to like, I just can't convert over. It's just not like a clean conversion for some reason.
kingdoms, and she's this complicated, beautiful, just wild young girl who's somehow still more mature than everyone else around her. Or Yuna from Final Fantasy X, this graceful, selfless, and devastating character who's literally carrying the hopes of an entire world on her back, and then she still apologizes when she...
There's been some male leads though, like, well, I mean, if you count the monkey from Black Myth Wukong, that counts. Pretty sure the Warhammer game had a male lead. Oh, that new oh, what was it? Bro, the last Starfighter was great. That was a great game. Now I want to play that again. Yo, you know what's another like small game that's really good if you're into like survival games? Sons of the Forest. That's a great game. Another male lead. What else was I just thinking of that came out recently-ish? Expedition 33 technically has a male lead and a bunch of female leads. You kind of like mix it around with that one. And then a lot of games have been letting you pick lately, which I actually like. I don't know. I feel like it's been pretty even. What game was it? The Yakuza game. I think I was in the middle of saying that. The Yakuza game, that definitely had a male lead. And that game is crazy.
conveniences you, and if that's not being a girl, I don't know what is. Or Midna from Twilight Princess. All right, she's a little bit annoying at first, but she bullies Link for like the first 30 hours of the game, saves his life, opens a dimensional portal, and then vanishes all with a glowing tear. He never says a word to her the entire game, but she says everything with her absence. Truly a legendary situationship. And while Western games are nervously nerfing kind of every trace of femininity from their female characters, Eastern devs are like, yeah, here's a mysterious woman who could kill you and make you cry about it. You're welcome. Capcom? They've been in their iconic woman era since like forever. Resident Evil is one of my all-time favorite series, and Jill is tactical, calm, and easily has the cleanest bob in gaming. Ada is mysterious.
Yeah, it's the AAA, it's the Western AAA gaming studios have really been just like pouring out slop lately. Like, what else just totally... Ubisoft has to be pretty much toast at this point. I mean, between the Assassin's Creed game and that Star Wars game, those were both garbage. Like, what are they doing?
Stylish, and she might lie to your face, but she's still gonna get a fan cam. Claire is this beautiful, kind, capable woman who takes zero nonsense, and Lady D had like 10 minutes of screen time in Village, and she still owned Halloween for like the next 2 years. They're hot, they're cool, they've got so much range, and you remember them. You want to be them, or you just kind of want them to emotionally damage you just a little bit. It's the same kind of energy with Monster Hunter Wilds. They dropped a couple of
I understand why this video blew up, because she's pretty good at this prepared content shtick. She had her whole script ready and everything. She's like pretty well spoken. She hasn't stumbled her words. I mean, she might have and then cut it out, but yeah, this is really good for your first video.
composed, stunning woman, and the internet instantly started to cosplay. They're expressive and graceful, and they've just got that magnetism about them. And that's why the boys are in love, the girls are in love, and I am in love. And then we've got From Software, who just casually releases the most haunting, elegant women in modern gaming like it's nothing. The doll from Bloodborne, our favorite Victorian comfort character. She's soft-spoken,
True.
she's gentle, and she definitely knows more than she's letting on. Or Lady Maria, tragic, terrifying character with perfect posture, and 10 out of 10, I would let her fight me again. Or Ronnie from Elden Ring, who I was quite literally on my knees for, and I made sure to do every single step of her quest so I could serve her as me Elden Lord. Or Melina, Melina was so glowing and quiet and just sad. And then when she leaves you at the sight of Grace, like, my work here is done. And you're just devastated and you're just sitting there all by yourself, alone, in your little tunic. These ladies do not need exposition dumps or 80 cutscenes. They just show up and drip elegance, drop one line of vague sorrow, and then next thing you know, you're obsessing over cosplays and fan art for like the next month. I say all of this because femininity is not outdated. It's not shallow, and it's not something that you need to water down for the story to be taken seriously. It's range. So please let women be cute and manipulative, kind, and a little...
What the what's going on over here? What is this? What's going on, Oblivion? What happened to this arm? Look at that. What happened? I thought this was a remaster.
little chaotic, soft but have sharp teeth, pretty, powerful, emotionally devastating, and the reason the protagonist starts journaling in a cave somewhere. Because femininity is Zelda, steadfast and...
Oh, come on, she just went through the whole FromSoft thing and didn't even mention Quelaag. That beautiful arachnid monster lady. Come on now. Dropping the ball. I still haven't forgiven myself for Aerith's death. Yeah, I mean, who can, though? It's unforgivable. And I think unavoidable.
Radiant and standing between her kingdom and ruin with nothing but hope and stubborn grace. Or
Yo, is this the remaster, or is it... What is happening here with this lady's shoulder? All right.
Or Triss, who's clever and compassionate and plays politics with you with a super soft smile that just makes you kind of forget that she's winning. Or Bayonetta, who's playful and provocative and treats every battlefield like a runway and then never manages to smudge her lipstick. Or Lightning, who's a beautiful, guarded, and grieving character who carries the entire weight of the world in 6-inch heels. And when female characters are done right, they're not...
I don't actually know who that is. What was that from? Who's Lightning?
Not flat or abrasive or weak. They're actually narrative gold. They have tension and softness that stabs, or beauty as a weapon. Let's let women be gorgeous and terrifying, sweet and strategic, gentle and unhinged. Let them be feminine again.
Oh, Asmongold reacted to it, apparently. And then she reacted to him reacting to it. Cool. That's probably how her page blew up. Asmon turned on the lights, so we all scattered. Yup. All right. That's why the video kept getting shown in my thing. That was pretty good. She did a good job. For her first video, that's wild. That's a really good video for a first video. Um, fantastic job.